Hello everyone, here we want to create an invoice in the Excel. As you know, there are a lot of company or stores that need to give the invoice to their customer. So Excel is a tool that help us for creating this invoice. You can create this invoice, get a print and write your description of the good or services that you are selling to the customer, define the quantity, unit price and the total price, and you have to include the total cost or the total price of the invoice. After that you give this to the customer. So how we can create such a thing in the Excel? First, I want to create a new Excel file. So I open the Excel file, a new empty Excel file. And after that, you have to specify the page layout, which should be at A4 paper or be in the A5 paper. For example, most of the invoices are in the A5 size. So you have to go to the page layout first. If you want your Excel, before we go into the page layout, it's good to see in another view. The spreadsheet can be viewed in the standard format, or you can view in the paper layout. As you can see, this is how we can go into the page layout. And now you can see this is the size of the letter in the Excel. And if you want to create an invoice, it's better to have the size of A5. So if you go to the page layout and you can choose the size of different size of the page, you can choose by default is a letter. You can define the A4, which is the standard A4, but as you know, most of invoices are created as a A5 size. So I choose the A5 size. As you can see, the width size of the A5 is small, but the height of this paper is too long. I want to orient that it's right now is in the portrait orientation. It's better to change it to the landscape page so we can have the much more length in the width size, in the width of my paper. So it can be said that right now this paper size is better for having the invoice. After that, you need to specify the header of the invoice, because in the most of the invoices I have to say what is my company name. For example, my company name is Diaco Ltd, and I have to insert the logo. In the page layout, you can see the header and the footer of the pages. If you go to in your header, there is a 3 section, and in the footer there is also 3 section as well. So this is how we can manipulate the headers. The first part in the left hand can be said it's the company name. You can insert the company name, or interchangeably you can insert the logo of your company. But I prefer to write the company name in the left side and insert the logo in the right side. When you go to the header, a new tab will be placed in the Excel, and it's a design tab for the header and the footer. So in this tab you have some tools to manipulate, to change the header information or insert the logo, date and time, the number of the pages that has in the Excel. You can define all of them in this tab. So I want to insert the logo. I can choose the picture here. After that, I have to choose I want to work offline. I want to choose my logo in my computer. So I go to my desktop in my Diaco company, and I find my logo. This is the logo of my company, so I insert that. If you go out from the header, you will see the image size of the logo is too big, and I want to make it a little small. So I have to go to the header. I select the right hand of that header, and in the design tab I can format the picture. So I click on the format picture, I can now change the width of this image. So I think the 1 centimeter will be enough for the logo size. If I press OK and I go out of the header, I can see the image size decreased. However, it's too small. I want a little bigger. If I go to the format picture again, you can see the width size 1 centimeter, and I want to make it a little bigger. So I think it's better right now. Also, you can manipulate the footer as well. For example, I want to enter the page number of my invoice. As you know, most of the invoices are one page paper, so it's not really practical to insert the page number, but it's good to see. So I go to the design tab, I can go to the page number and select the page number here. So because there is no data in any of these pages right now, we do not have any printable page. For example, if I insert one data in one cell, immediately we will have a one page for print, and if I enter that value, we can see the number is 1. If I go to another page and insert another value, then this page will be my second page, and we can see the number 2 in the header as well. But I do not need I don't need any values in the second page. So right now I define the I can insert the title of the this page as well in the header. I want to say it's an invoice, so I will write the invoice in the middle header. I want to make it a little bigger. I can just simply here use the bigger value. I can change the font. For example, I want to change it to the Times New Roman, and I want to change the color as well. So this is the header of my invoice. So let's see another tools of the page layout. As you see, this is the orientation of my page. I define the size of my page. These are a lot of other sizes and you can choose, but for invoice the A5 will be good. You can define the print area. We will see that in the next videos. We can break the page. These are not needed right now, or we can set the background image. If you use the background image, we not need this background page right now, but we can, for example, I want to insert the logo of my company in the background of my invoice. I can use these tools and as you can see, the background image is set as my logo, but I don't want to my logo be in the background of my invoice because it makes the invoice readability less. So I remove the background. I just wanted to show you. So in the next, I want to set the margins of my page. I go to the margin tab, and now I can select one of these defaults. For example, right now by default is normal. I can make it white margin, which makes the printable area much less. When you print, just this area will be printed and all other area will be white. And you can use the narrow one. The most time I use the narrow one because give me a much more space for inserting data in my page. And then if you see the ruler here, maybe some of you do not see the ruler. If you do not see the ruler, go to the view and tick the ruler. Right now, because the ruler is off, you will not see that. So please go to the view tab and go to the ruler and tick the ruler. So right now you can see there is a ruler. If you see the ruler, the margin and the total printable area is shown here. If you see the gray one is where the print will be getted and the data will be shown in the print, and the little bit whiter is the margin of my page. So I can increase this cell into until it's near to that area. Okay, so I have the print right now, printable area. Why the Excel do not show the other column in this page? Because simply it's not have the space for another column. If for example I control Z, for example I make it less wider, then if I go to the column K, I make it less, the size less, then it will go to the previous page. So this is because not the whole of the column by this size cannot be placed in the one page, one A5 page with these margins. If you want to have less margin, you can go to the custom margins. In the custom margins, you are able to define the exact number of the top margin, bottom margin, left side and right side. If you see, this is the example. In the under this tab, you will see center on page section. It shows the two options, horizontally and vertically. If you choose horizontally, it means that the printable page will be in the middle of horizontal coordination. And if you choose the vertical as well, it says that the printable area will be in the middle of the vertical coordination. And so when you want to print that, the printable area will be in the middle of your page and in the middle of the margins actually. So this is how you can set up the page layout for your Excel before creating the invoice or other thing that you want to print in the paper. These are all other options here that you can choose, but these are the most basic of do before printing. But the other things are optional or more tools for doing more complex works, which we do not need that right now. So in the next video, we will go and define the data that need to be entered in the invoice. We will create this form in the next video, and we will have this one. If you find out that this video is useful for you, please subscribe into our YouTube channel and like our videos, and see our website yaku.co.uk and see our products as well. Thanks a lot and goodbye.